Alright, welcome back to another Q&A. I put it out there, ask me questions. You ask the questions, I give the answers. That's how it works, valued friends. So we have a few questions here to get to, and let's get into it. So, Black Knight 55518, excessive amount of fives in your name, just saying. Says, better all-performer, Almas or Nakamura? That's a good question, actually, because I need to take into account Nakamura before he came to the WWE, and I have to take into account La Sombra before he became Almas. You know what? I have to give it to Nakamura overall. Not in the WWE. In the WWE, Almas is much better. I mean, the guy's got the total package, and they're not using him to his full capacity. Like, he deserves a lot better of a push than what he's getting. Better exposure. But, I mean, Nakamura's just kind of dogging it. I mean, I think it's pretty obvious. Most people can kind of see he's kind of dogging it. And Nakamura's getting older. He doesn't want to work necessarily a fucking breakneck style. I think he's just kind of like working out his contract to the point where he'll go back to Japan and have like one or two final runs there where he, you know, becomes the old Nakamura again. Because the Nakamura you're seeing here isn't the Nakamura that was in New Japan. Character-wise, work rate-wise, just not the same guy. There was a little flashes of that in NXT, but for the most part, it's just not the same guy. It really isn't. You need to see his, like, pseudo-junky, crazy fucking performances that he gave in New Japan with this, like, new character that he's been doing for years now. Just, it's night and day, honestly, in my opinion. Alright. Going on here, we'll scroll down. So we got two questions here from Thomas. First off, he asks, have you seen the Viceland's Dark Side of the Ring series? If so, overall thoughts of it and favorite episode? And any criticisms about the show that you can come up with that you wish they hadn't done or shouldn't have brought up? I have seen the Bruiser Brody episode. I've seen the Von Erich episode, and I've seen the Montreal Screwjob episode of that. I think the entire series is excellent. There's just a lot of stuff in there that is for people who are maybe not familiar with these stories. They don't cover a lot of new ground. I mean, there are some revelations. I mean, one of the biggest ones, I think, is the fact that Jim Cornette kind of came up with the idea that eventually led to the screw job that fucked Bret Hart, in a very obtuse sort of way. I mean, it's not, honestly, it's not really Jim Cornette's fault, but it's something he sort of kept his mouth shut about for quite a while. But, no, I think it's really well done. Honestly, one of my biggest complaints is that the episodes aren't longer. They don't go into more detail. Like, there's a lot more they could dig into. They kind of just scratch the surface for the most part with the episodes I watched. But overall, very well presented. Having Dutch Mantel do the sort of narration, like he was on the Brody episode, and then he did the narration for the episodes after that. Really good stuff. Like, the whole presentation is really good. But I think kind of my biggest complaint is, like, there's just a lot of stuff that I already knew this. And I think the Von Erich episode, it's a little too kind to Kevin Von Erich. It's honestly more about Kevin Von Erich than it is about the Von Erichs. And they let Kevin Von Erich get away with a lot of his bullshit. And I'm not trying to criticize Kevin Von Erich, but a lot of his stories are pretty much Von Erich mythology kind of things. He, you know, sort of tiptoes around some of the facts that are fairly well established about what happened. Like, the idea that Kerry Von Erich went to get a fucking cheeseburger and that's how he fucked up his foot in the hospital, that's just total bullshit. Like, that story is totally false. And the fact that they don't quite say that in the documentary, but they sort of hint towards it, like, to the point where it's like, we're taking Kevin's story to heart and we're just going with whatever he has to say. Little sketchy, but overall, this is probably one of the best series as far as doing, like, deep dives into stories involving pro wrestlers. I still need to see the Randy Savage and the Gino Hernandez ones. But what I did see was fucking amazing. I thought it was really good. Even though, you know, a lot of it was just like stuff I already knew. But it's presented in a way that's way better than anything that's sort of come before it, as far as I'm concerned. Okay, and Thomas asks also, and another since it's recent, have you had the chance to hear the Talk is Jericho episode with Jon Moxley? And if so, what did you think about it? And are you surprised by the shit that he had to go through? I have not listened to it yet. I plan on trying to listen to it before we record for Jobber Radio on Thursday. But I look forward to checking it out. I usually don't listen to Jericho's podcast, so that's kind of why I just haven't listened to it yet. Like, I just sort of seen it pop up on, like, different places, like, oh, Jon Moxley on Jericho's podcast. But yeah, for the most part, I'm just not a big fan of Jericho's podcast, so it's not like I'm a constant listener or anything like that. But I will listen to this before we record for Jobber Radio. Technically tonight now. I'm recording at like 2:22 a.m. or whatever right now. So there you go. Thanks for the questions. So we'll go to Josh Dionano. Dioneo. Is it Dioneo? Let me know. Because I've heard about a different, like 4 or 5 different pronunciations of your fucking last name. It looks like Dioneo to me. Let me know. God damn it. Because, I mean, if we have a match on the fucking JRPL again, I want to pronounce your name correctly when I cut a fucking promo on your stupid ass. You valued friend. Okay, so he says, thoughts on the AEW TV deal, the 24/7 title, and the passing of Ashley Massaro, especially with all the details coming out of the lawsuit she had going against WWE. So I think we covered this a little bit on the last episode of Jobber Radio. I'm still waiting for the details as far as Ashley Massaro. Like, the story's not over. Some of this stuff sounds kind of sketchy. I mean, some of these lawsuits that have been brought up against WWE in the last little while have been kind of discredited. Like, there's just been this lawyer who's been going around getting wrestlers lawsuits against the WWE, and some of these things sound a little sketchy and frivolous and kind of stupid. I don't know all the details of the lawsuit that Ashley Massaro was involved with. I think it is the head trauma thing. Like, I think there might have been a couple of lawsuits that involved this sort of head trauma stuff, but I think that was one she was involved in. And man, it's sad. Like, 39, and apparently she had, like, depression issues. Who knows if these were brought on by the head trauma, or, you know, just exasperated by the head trauma. It's hard to tell. Like, she's got a daughter, and it sucks. But, I mean, the WWE, at the very least, even if it's just kind of a PR thing, have been trying to, you know, help out and send money, like, the way of her daughter and stuff like that. So, I mean, you just gotta wait and see, man. Like, it's just a shitty fucking thing either way, and hopefully the details will finally come out as to if there was any wrongdoing on the WWE's part. I mean, the sexual assault stuff, I mean, that's just fucking gross. If even a little smidgen of that is true, that's fucking disgusting, and the WWE should be held accountable for that sort of thing. But I mean, if they indeed were like trying to shut her up, and but if they didn't know, and she came out like way afterwards bringing this stuff up, it's a little bit on her at that point. But at the same time, I guess you can sort of make arguments about the culture of WWE, the corporate culture. I don't know. It's there's just too many variables at this point to really make a solid comment on it. AEW TV deal, great. Turner. I look forward to it because I want to see what they can fucking do on TV. If they can put on a consistently good TV show that does wrestling right the way I like it, I'll be interested in it. So good for them. I mean, the fact that they've got two successful, well, technically one, but I mean really two successful pay-per-views under their belt, and they have a TV deal. They have a bit of a roster locked in already. That's great. I mean, more power to them. If they can put on a great wrestling product, then I look forward to seeing it. And I'll leave it at that at this point, because it's really too early to speak on it. Like, all these fucking idiot fanboys out there saying AEW's the new coming of wrestling, and oh, WWE, gotta look out, you're gonna be fucking hurting, Vince is scared. Fuck the fuck off. It's fucking bullshit. You don't fucking know what the fuck you're talking about. I mean, Jesus Christ, AEW really is still an untested promotion at this point. They had two great pay-per-views under their belt that were successful. They have a TV deal, and that's it. There's no results yet. These people who want this fucking war between this promotion and WWE, this shit ain't happened yet. It's probably not going to happen. Just the idea that AEW is going to be competition of some sort for WWE at this point, when you've got all these other promotions that are not competition for WWE, and they've been running a much longer time, and they're doing pretty well for themselves. No, just shut the fuck up. Like, there's just a lot of people who are just taking this to like a religious fever, and it's stupid. Get real. 24/7 title, it sucks. I don't like it. I think I sort of covered that on the last episode of Jobber Radio as well. Not a big fan. I think it's the more titles you add, this excuse me. The more titles you add, the more you dilute the product. I think it's just a symptom of the fact that they don't know what to do with their mid card, and how much their mid card is just like this nexus of people who go to the main event and then just get knocked down like a couple weeks later, and they're just sort of floating in this nebulous cloud of bullshit. And this title is just like something to give them to do to eat up TV time, which sucks. It really sucks. And the idea that everyone should be featured, and everyone's a superstar, and everyone should fucking, have something to do. You don't need that on fucking wrestling TV. You don't need that at all. It's alright if the Lucha House Party are a bunch of fucking jobbers. They don't need to win matches. It's alright if fucking, whoever, like fucking No Way Jose is a fucking jobber. Don't give them fucking characters, don't give them storylines necessarily. They have a bit of a character, but don't give them fucking the same shit they were giving people back in the Attitude Era, where everyone had something going on. Don't bother with that shit. Just put them out there. Here's our designated jobbers. They're going to lose to our stars every week, and our stars are not going to fucking touch each other until important matches. They're going to have feuds. They're going to cut promos on each other. They're going to do run-ins. They're going to have confrontations and all that shit. But they ain't going to touch each other until they fucking fight in a match on a pay-per-view. That's how you fucking book wrestling TV. I'm sorry. And people might disagree with me and say, oh, Lee, you're just stuck in the past. You know why I'm stuck in the past? Because a lot of the stuff in the past fucking works. It still fucking works. And fucking this shit they're doing with this 24/7 title and this nebulous bullshit, like, oh, you grab the title, you run with it, and you escape, and you're the champ, and, like, there should be at least a rule where if you lose the title, you can't come after it again for, like, a certain period of time or something. Like, Jesus Christ, it just sucks. It's stupid. I don't like it at all. Alright, and we go down here now, and I think we have 2 more questions. Well, one person with a bunch of questions, and then one more question. So, oh no, I read that one. Why do I have that one twice? Huh, it makes no sense. Okay, so Beer Me Jesus says, with Jon Moxley leaving the WWE, do you see other wrestlers following suit? If so, who? I don't know about that. It depends on how much money they throw at people. Like, the WWE's making a point right now of being like bitches about keeping people on their contracts. So you got like Luke Harper, you got the Revival. Seems like both of those, all those guys are sort of like in a sort of mid-zone right now. I mean, that's depending on what you sort of believe from the dirt sheets and stuff like that too. Like, who knows what they really think, but like, I could see Luke Harper going over there. It might be a chance for him to, you know, break out and actually show what he can do and be like kind of a main event player or whatever. But at the same time, that's depending on how AEW is going to structure their cards and stuff, because you see stuff floating around. And again, this dirt sheet shit about, oh, how everyone's going to, you know, be a star and, you know, everyone's going to have their chance and all that. I don't know. It's just, I'm a little dubious. Little fucking dubious. But, yeah, Luke Harper, I think, might do really well in that environment. Like, he's this big unique guy. They need unique guys in AEW. They need some people who stand out, and he would definitely stand out. He's definitely bigger than a lot of people on the fucking roster, so him being a big monster over there would be cool. And he can fly around, although I personally wouldn't let him do it, but he could do that. Like, he can do their style, so I think he'd work there. Revival would really work over there, I think, because at the same time I get this sort of thought that with the Cody Dustin match, they still want to like touch on trying to bring in some of the old school fans and stuff like that, like kind of doing NWA style stuff. A team like the Revival could do really good in that environment, I think, because they're great workers and they'd be given the chance to work with great teams and do their shit. And so, you know, they might be good. As for other people, like, the only other guy I can think of that might end up there is maybe Sami Zayn. Because what are they doing with him in the WWE right now? Like, I don't even fucking know if they know what they're doing with him. He also asks, Okada being the heavyweight champ, who do you see him dropping the belt to? Will we get another long-ass Okada reign? Man, I'm thinking long-ass Okada reign, honestly. It seems like they don't want to fucking pull the trigger on anybody else for too long. I mean, I was kind of hoping Jay White would keep the title much longer, but I don't know. Seems like Gato and Jado are just kind of, let's do what works. And Okada definitely works. It's definitely worked before, and they might just beat that to the ground. I don't know. I have not been watching the product a lot lately. In fact, I might get to the point where I just cut my NJPW subscription off for a while. But yeah, I don't necessarily see Okada losing for a while. It seems to be his story, right? Like, he had this whole storyline of just being in in the doldrums for a while and losing, and now he's back. He's back on top. So it feels more like Gato sending challengers after him kind of idea, maybe. Who knows? Yes, do you think Moxley will work in JPW? Do you think he can do the style they do over there? I think he'll be fine. They've shown that they've been fairly, able to work around more North American brawling styles, which is basically what Moxley is. Jericho's been doing that now to great success a couple times in NJPW. Like, Dad Bod Jericho going over there and doing brawling matches. Moxley can do that fucking shit. There's hardly a fucking NJPW match where the guys don't go outside the ring and throw each other into the guardrails and fuck shit up. So, he's obviously not going over there for, like, a big extended tour or anything, I don't think. So, he'll go over there, do a couple big matches, star power, name value matches, and I think he'll be fine. I'm kind of excited for the idea that Juice Robinson will beat him. That's cool. Juice Robinson needs to beat names. They kind of, start, stop, push Juice Robinson in JPW a lot, and I don't like that. And the idea of, like, John Moxley coming over and losing to Juice Robinson would be really cool. They might not even do that. They might fucking swerve and, Moxley now has the U.S. title, and he's bringing it back to AEW. They might very well fucking do that. Who knows? But, I look forward to it. It'll be interesting to see. He says, who do you think you see taking the MLW heavyweight title off of Tom Lawler? You know what? I would not be surprised if LA Park wins that title, because LA Park is having the fucking run of his life right now. He's 50 years old, he's fucking fat as fuck, and he's flying all over the fucking ring. He's beating people left and right, and he's just looking great. I would not be disappointed to see him have the belt. Outside of him, honestly, there's not a lot of competition unless you bring, like, the Hart Foundation in as, like, you turn them like super heel and have them going after Lawler. I don't think necessarily anyone in Contra Unit is going to end up beating Lawler for the title. I'm sure Lawler will probably lose some matches against Contra Unit in, like, tag matches and non-title matches and stuff like that. But, LA Park, I could see him, like, getting the title and then Lawler going off and feuding with Contra Unit for a while. And then, coming back to the title mix, if they want to do that. He says, how good is Selena De La Renta? And he says, in my opinion, she's amazing. What a manager associate should be. Yeah, she's the best in the business right now, as far as I'm concerned. She's my favorite manager. She is just... And here's the thing about MLW. They don't script their promos. They don't even give people bullet points. They let the fucking guys just go out there and do what they do and say whatever they can come up with. Like, they have their angles and stuff. They book. But for the most part, it's just go out there and say shit. She is fucking amazing. Everything she says is good. She's just fully into who she is, and she hits it off in all cylinders. She's one of the best managers I've ever seen in wrestling. Bar none. Like, she's up there with Cornette for me, as far as that's concerned. I think she just does a great job, and she's sexy as hell. I have no problem ever seeing her come out. She can come out to any fucking show I'm watching. I'll be happy. Then he asks, lastly, last one, what did you enjoy Double or Nothing? What or who did you like on it or about it? What or who did you like on it or about it? Okay, I read that correctly. I'll get into more detail on Jobber Radio when we cover the event, but yeah, I liked it. I'm not going to sit here and say it was amazing or that everything on it was stuff I liked. I'll get into more detail, of course, on the podcast, but I thought it was a good pay-per-view. It was fine. There were some technical issues here and there. I don't know if everyone experienced them or if it was just me stealing the streams, but and there were some production issues too, just on the show itself. But yeah, there was some stuff I really didn't like. And, you know, it was a bit of a mixed bag in some regards, but overall I thought it was a big success for them. I mean, it's the show they wanted to put on, and it was received really well, so good for them. And also, you have to take into account that this show is trying to put, like, their best foot forward and trying to pop the crowd and, like, have a super exciting fucking pay-per-view where everyone's hitting off on all cylinders, so hopefully, once we get to the TV and future pay-per-views, they sort of rein some of the stuff they were doing in this pay-per-view back and slowing down a little bit, because everything in this pay-per-view was just going like super fast, and there was, you know, matches with about 1 million kickouts of moves that should be finishers and kickouts of you know, established finishers, and some of that stuff was sort of grating on me, but yeah, overall I enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty good. I did not regret watching it. Overpriced though, I would not have paid the $50 plus price tag for it. That's a fucking ridiculous price. There's no wrestling product out there that's worth more than about $30 on pay-per-view, as far as I'm concerned. But that's just me. Alright, we're done, I guess. Thank you very much, guys, for the questions. I will put another video out on Jobber Radio next month at some point, and probably try to give you guys a bit more time to send your questions in, and then I'll do the answer video again. And until then, valued friends, be seeing you.